Okay, so talking about area of triangles and trapezoids. So, um, obviously we have two different shapes. They share the same dimensions. I already wrote down the similarities that both shapes share the same dimension. The difference is that the triangle is half the area, right? And if that's kind of hard to visualize, I kind of cut out a little sticky note that's, you know, almost perfectly sized. Now, if I place that here inside this, um, I guess it's a rectangle because not all sides are even, right? Then you can see that it's true, right? The area of a rectangle essentially is one half, okay? Or of a triangle is one half of the area of a rectangle. So, why is that important? Well, it's very important because it changes our formulas, okay? The formula for finding the area of a rectangle, right? Formula for the area of a rectangle is area is equal to base times height. So how could I describe the area of a rectangle? Well, if it's half, then the area for a triangle is going to be 1/2 times base times height. Pretty simple, okay? So now they want to know, what is the area of the rectangle? Okay, well, I'm going to write that formula, which is area is equal to base times height. I have my base, which is 8, times my height, which is 9. I have an area of 72, what is it, centimeters square. All right, my area is equal to 72 centimeters square. What is the area of my triangle? Well, I'm going to write my formula, which is area is equal to 1/2 times base times height. So I have 1/2 times my base, which is 8, times my base, which is not, or my height rather, which is 9. Half of 8 is going to be 4 times 9. That's going to give me an area of 36 centimeters squared. It says, was my hypothesis correct? I didn't make one. Other than connecting the idea that a triangle is half the area of a rectangle. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I wrote the formulas down here to kind of get ahead a little bit. I forgot the A equals here, so I made an error. My bad. So we have the formula here. Area is equal to 1/2 times base times height. If I look at my base here, I have a base of 5. So I'm going to have 1/2 times 5 times, I have a height of 7. Okay. So this is easier for me to do. Half of 5 is 2.5. So I can write 25 times 7. It's going to give me 5, carry the 3, 14, 17, swing the decimal back over. So here I have an area of 17.5 units squared. All right, working with the next one. 1/2 times, my base is 3.5. My height is going to be 2. This one's kind of weird, okay? For me, it's easier to do this. I end up getting 7, but then half of 7 is 3.5. So here, the area is 3.5 meters squared. Yeah, so that one's kind of in a loop. All right, same thing here. We have 1/2 times our base, which is 14, times our height, which is 16. Half of 14 is 7, so 7 times 16, I can do 16 times 7. It's going to give me 42, carry the 4, 28, 32. No, wait, what am I talking about? Holy cow. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. No. No, 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 no. My bad. Don't even know why I said that. 7 plus 4 is 11. Jesus. That's going to give me... Oh, man. Sorry. 112 inches squared. Sorry about that, y'all. Now, So how do you determine the height of a triangle? Well, the height of a triangle is how tall the triangle is from the base to the tallest point. And the height makes a 90-degree angle with the base of the triangle. The height, oh yeah, just like the height of the parallelogram. Okay, so that is how we determine from the base to the tallest point, and it forms that perpendicular line, right? It forms that 90-degree angle. Awesome. Let's keep going. All right, for this one, I definitely jumped ahead. Sorry. So, all right, let me try to fix what I did. So if I'm decomposing these shapes, remember that they said a trapezoid in the notes is one or two triangles and a square kind of put together, right? So here, both of these sides are 6, right? Cool, awesome, not a big deal. But here I have two different bases, okay? This whole base down here is 16, but this base here is 8. So in order to find that difference, I have to subtract. I know 16 minus 8 is going to be 8. So that's what I kind of have left over. I'm going to get this 8. I have to split it between this triangle and this triangle, okay? So I'm going to get this 8. I'm going to divide it by 2, okay? 8 over 2 is really going to give me 4. So the new base of this triangle, or of both of these triangles, is going to be 4 centimeters, okay? Meanwhile, the height stays the same. Now, biggest difference here is our formulas, okay? For our rectangle, its area equals base times height. Base times height. 8 times 6, that's where I got 48 centimeters squared. Now, where am I getting 12 centimeters? So, the formula for our triangle, remember, is 1/2, right? I'll write it right here. 1/2 times base times height. So 1/2 of 4 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. 1/2 of 4 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. That gives me my 12 centimeters times 2. So this triangle has 12 centimeters squared. This triangle is 12 centimeters squared. Combine those together, I get the 24 centimeters squared. I add this total area, and this total area together. And what I end up getting is 72 centimeters squared. All right. I jumped ahead on that one. I apologize. I'm going to kind of show us how to do it the right way this time. All right. So for trapezoid 2, again, here's my rectangle, okay? They're telling me that this entire bottom base, okay, cool. But this top base and this side length, where they form a 90-degree angle, is going to be the area of my rectangle, okay? So for this box, 10 times 8 will give me 80 inches squared. Perfect. Now, I need to find the difference between 13 and 10, which is going to be 3. Now this little side length is 3. But again, the formula for my area of a triangle is that area is equal to 1/2 times base times height. So 1/2 of 3 is 1.5 times what? 8. Okay, so 1.5 times 8, that's going to give me 40. Carry the 4, 8, 12. There you go. Therefore, I end up with 12 inches squared. When I combine these two partial areas, okay, or when I combine these two areas, I'm going to add them both together. That's a 2, that's a 9. I end up with a total area of 92 inches squared. Now, talking about the area of trapezoids. So a trapezoid, like I mentioned earlier, is an area that is one or two triangles and a rectangle combined. Now, we can continue to decompose, or we can just use the formula to solve for trapezoids, okay? Either one's fine, I guess. Either one's perfectly fine, whatever works for you. But that formula that we're going to use to solve these trapezoids are going to be area is equal to 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into it. A trapezoid is one or two triangles and a rectangle combined. To find the area, use the formula area is equal to 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height, where base 1 is the length of the first base, base 2 is the length of the second base, and h is the height of the trapezoid. Perfect. All we're really doing here is plugging stuff in, and you'll see that it actually really isn't that bad. So let's start plugging some stuff in, okay? All right, let's do it. So we have 1/2 times base 1 is going to be 7, base 2 is going to be 13, and we're going to say that's going to be times 4. Okay, now let's put some of this stuff together, okay? Parentheses first, right? So 7 plus 13, that's going to give us 20. Half of 20 is going to be 10. 10 times 4 is going to give us 40. Therefore, we have a total area of 40 inches squared. So it's not that bad. It's a weird formula, but it's not that bad, okay? We just got to get used to it. When I go to the next one, okay, here's my formula. Area is equal to 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height. So I plug in my stuff, okay? I have 1/2 times base 1 is 5 plus base 2 is 9 times, they're telling me my height here, which is 3.2. Okay, let's do it. 5 plus 9 is 14. Half of 14 is 7. 7 times 3.2. Let's do times 7. 4, 1, 21, 22. Swing the decimal back over. I have a total area of 22.4 meters squared. So it's not that bad, right? Let's work on these last two. All right, so I have my formula, okay? So now I'm just plugging stuff in. I have 1/2 times 5 plus 8 times 4. Okay, so 5 plus 8 will give you 13. Half of 13 is going to be 6.5, right? Yeah, 6.5. 6.5 times 4. Okay, let's do it. 6.5 times 4. It's going to give us 20. 24 plus 2 is 26. 6.5 times 4. Swing that back over. So we have a total of, our area here is going to equal 26 centimeters squared. If we actually read it, it says Betsy has calculated the area of the figure below to be 52 centimeters squared. Determine if she is correct or incorrect. So yeah, she's not correct. I think what happened is she did this part correct, but she didn't calculate the half. So she ended up with 52 instead of half of that, which would have been the 26. All right, let's keep going. It's telling us here that the trapezoid has an area. Has an area of 192. Okay, perfect. So now we're still going to use the formula. We're just replacing the a with the number that they gave us, right? So we have 192 is equal to 1/2 times, what was our base 1? 14 plus 18 times I guess height. We don't know our height yet, right? So we don't have to do parentheses. We just leave it as a letter. Perfect. That's fine. Okay. Well, let's keep going. 14 plus 18, that's going to give me 32. Half of 32 is going to give me 16. So that's going to give me 16h is equal to 192. One-step equation where I isolate my variable. I now have 192s divided by 16. That can fit in there once. That's going to be a 3. Bring down the 2. That can fit in there twice. Bam, bam. Therefore, our height in this particular case is equal to 12 inches. All right. Well, I hope all this helped, guys.